there's a new Timberlake song coming out.
It's already out.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it came out today.
Did it come out? Okay, I wasn't sure if it was today or tomorrow. So
Yeah, the music video dropped this like at midnight or whatever. I think.
Is it decent?
The fanboys or fangirls typically are like, "Oh my god, it's amazing! He's back to old Justin." It's okay. It reminds me an awful lot like of Not a Bad Thing. It's that
Okay.
sort of style of like he just crazy in love with whatever woman he's singing about,
Right.
and yeah, it's not my favorite. I'll be honest, I was a little disappointed because the talk has been he's going back to the R&B
Yeah.
poppy JT, and this was nothing like that.
Yeah,
So
I think like Timberland said like a year ago that it was Future Sex Love Sounds Part 2. Which is,
I,
which is always, everyone says that about
right. It definitely wasn't Man of the Woods style, but it wasn't.
Well, I mean, at least, hey, that's a step in the right direction, at least.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me. Oh no, there were like 3 songs on that album that I could get through. There was one song that I liked. It's we'll see. Maybe the song will grow on me. It just didn't. It didn't make me go, oh man, Timberlake's back. It's like, oh, he can still do that style of music. Okay.
Right. So, and he's on SNL on Saturday.
Yeah, which makes SNL. I'll probably
I'll
give it a watch at some point.
DVR recording and skim through it probably.
Yeah.
So
stop for a weekend update. Maybe if they do one of the
classic Timberlake bits.
Yeah, either the Barry Gibb talk show with Fallon, or if they do the where he dances up in the mascot suit.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay then. So I was all psyched this week. And yeah, to talk wrestling with the Rumble and everything and all the other news that happened earlier this week, and Raw was good and all that kind of stuff, and after last week we kind of just fanboyed over the Lions. I was like, all right, well, we'll get back to talking some wrestling this week, and then today, we record this on Thursday night, obviously today, some very disgusting stuff came out in the form, as a result of a lawsuit against Vince McMahon and the company, and a bunch, just a bunch of not good. And it's like I hadn't, other than you texting me about it, and I was working, so I hadn't been online at all. So I was like, what the, I don't know what you're talking about. And so you kind of filled me in, and I was like, all right. And I kind of scrolled through the timeline a little bit, and I didn't get in depth in it like you did, because I couldn't bring myself to do it. So that just kind of makes, we talked before we hit record, that just kind of makes talking about what should be as a fan a really fun time. It just makes it all trivial, like it's hard to be excited and feel good about it, so yeah. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to briefly give some thoughts about some Rumble stuff. Had a couple other thoughts too about the other news. Just going to bang through it real quick. Not going to spend too much time on it. And then we're just going to get into our Lions talk, because this could be the last game of the season. Could be. I'm not saying it is.
Excuse me?
It could be. I don't think it will be, but I think it could be. So we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. So, but yeah. So that's kind of how we're handling today. So so I'm just gonna run through what I had in mind, and Matt's just kind of sit there and look pretty for a few minutes. So I guess what was I mentioned Raw. Raw was a good show. There was the New Day Imperium tag match that I loved. I loved the brawl after the match. It's one of the few times that I think a double count out finish works. So it was really good. And then of course the thing everyone was anticipating was the Cody Punk face to face, and I thought that segment really delivered. I thought both guys had good things to say. Honestly, I kind of think Cody got the better of Punk in that one, but yeah, and then it was weird because then this SI article came out the day after, amongst the news about Netflix and The Rock and all that kind of stuff, which I'll get to here in a moment. And it was like, oh well, yeah, so Punk and Cody is the Mania match, and Rock's doing Mania, and it's Gunther versus Seth, and it's like it felt like someone just watched Raw and was like, oh well, this is obviously what they're doing for Mania. Whatever's on the go home to the go home Raw for the Royal Rumble is what they're doing for Mania. And now today, like Fightful had a story today that was like basically everyone in the company was like, that's kind of news to us. And I think Barrasso even like tweeted like a recantment or something like that. So yeah, that was that had everyone in a tizzy for a couple days. So that was that. As I mentioned, they made the announcement, couple announcements on Tuesday. The Rock is on the board of directors for TKO. And he did an interview on First Take, which actually had me in the best place I've been in a while since he showed up on day one, as far as the whole Rock Cody Roman scenario. I really think they're going to try and push this Rock match another year. I think they're going to try and do it WrestleMania 41, from what he was saying about wanting to make it the biggest event of all time, or whatever, however you put it. But the tickets for this year's Mania are already sold. So you can go full on Rock Cena with it and set it up right after. Maybe they'll set it up at the SmackDown in Detroit after Mania. But you can kind of sow the seeds, either at this year's Mania or shortly after, and just kind of build it for a year. That'll be the first. It'll be the first Mania next year that internationally where Mania will be on Netflix internationally. And like I said, you'll sell whatever. I think the rumor is Minnesota for next year. That hasn't been confirmed yet. But wherever it's at, if you announce Rock Roman, well before tickets go on sale, you're not going to have any issues, even less issues selling out Mania than what you normally would. So that was that. And then of course that was part of the big announcement that Raw, starting in January 2025, will be going to Netflix, which is kind of, I had a feeling that they might end up on a streamer, but still, like, actually seeing it, like, it's kind of surreal in a way. They've been very careful not to call it Monday Night Raw. It's just been Raw, and they're like, maybe it'll be on Monday, maybe it won't be. So that could be interesting. If they move it, maybe with USA getting SmackDown, maybe they move SmackDown to Monday. Like, that would be kind of weird, having SmackDown on Monday, and then Raw a different day. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen there? And it's a 10-year deal. I guess there's an opt-out. There's a couple options, I guess. There's an opt-out for Netflix after 5, and then at the end of the 10, they have the option to extend it another 10 or something like that. So kind of a weird, all-encompassing deal there. It's for U.S., and then, like I said, internationally, it'll be everything. Like Canada and the UK, I think, will be everything. It'll be Raw, SmackDown, NXT, all the PLEs will be on Netflix. And because the Peacock deal runs through the 2026. So, and all the library will be on Netflix at that time internationally as well. So the WWE Network at large internationally will be gone as of the beginning of 2025. It's a weird question. The current Raw deal with USA ends in October, and this doesn't start till January. So I would think, because of the relationship they have, and seeing as NBC Universal is bringing SmackDown back to the fold anyway, I would assume that getting an extension wouldn't be too hard of a thing. I mean, I can't imagine they'd just go no Raws for 3 months or something like that. I mean, maybe they could. Who knows? But yeah, we'll see how that goes as the year progresses, as we get to that countdown. And then last but least, because like I said, none of this is really all that important today with everything else that came out. But for the Rumble, I've got Punk winning the men's Rumble. I guess if it's either Punk or Cody, those are the only two. I really don't see Gunther winning. I think he'll have another strong showing. But I just don't see Gunther doing it this year. So I would go Punk, then Cody. Those are my 1-2s for the men's Rumble. For the women's, I'm gonna go Bayley and Becky as my two. My top 2 guesses for the women. There's no one really else I can think of on that front. Maybe you could do Bianca again, and you could do her and Rhea, seeing as the two of them are on the deluxe edition, on the cover of the deluxe edition of the video game. So maybe you could go that way, but I still think it's Rhea Becky at Mania, and it's probably Io Bayley. So that's why I think Becky or Bayley are the two. And I'd give it to Bayley because Becky's already got a Rumble win. So, and then Roman obviously retains in that match. I'm gonna guess Logan Paul retains against Kevin Owens in that match, and I think there's a couple other matches, but none of them really matters. So yeah, that was the main thing for the Rumble. So I think that's everything. Yeah. So Lions NFC Championship. Let's go.
We didn't come this far just to come this far, Christopher.
I agree.
And this might be the last game of the season is as they say, bullshit. We're going in. We are built for this. He said it from the beginning. That's what this team is here to do. San Francisco is not ready to be drug out into the deep waters and drowned in that ocean that he talks about. It's coming. I'm so ready for Sunday. I told Holly, after they win this game, dyeing my hair blue.
Hey, sweet. Yeah, was that your publication or one of the other ones that had the this instructions? It's like, if you want the blue hair like Amon-Ra, this is what you got to do.
I'll be honest, I have no idea. There's so much Lions content everywhere right now.
It's a lot.
It's impossible to keep up with and not just ignore my children. Which, I mean, I'm not opposed to. I've been waiting a long time for this.
Yeah.
But I mean, I gotta talk to the kids eventually.
Right. Right.
Like I haven't even watched the Sights and Sound with Panay yet that came out.
Oh, yeah. No, I haven't seen that.
So yeah, the Sights and Sound. He was mic'd up for the game, and they released apparently like a director's cut of him during the game, which I can only assume is going to make me want to run through a wall again.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
But trash talking aside, getting back to the game last week, it was a little frustrating that they let Tampa stay in that game. I felt like in the second quarter there, they had an opportunity to put the game away early, and they and we keep going back to this, but for whatever reason, Ben Johnson just won't line up on 3rd and 1 and say, "Hey, we've got the best right tackle in football, the best center in football. Go get me a yard." We're just handing. He's got to throw some stupid pass out there that doesn't work. We punt the ball downfield. They drive, tie the game up before the half. Like, I felt like that sequence was the chance to distance themselves and put this away, but they didn't. And maybe it was a good thing they were in a little bit of a sweaty game there to remind them like they gotta stay focused for a full 60. It's the playoffs. You're not getting second chances here.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, look, there's a reason why they're 6.5 point favorites and they win by 7. Like Vegas kind of had that one
nailed.
It's
almost like they knew what was coming.
Yeah,
we have a guest showing up, just so you know.
I see that. Yeah, we were texting during the game. Like it was. Again, like I'll reiterate, for whatever reason, like I don't know what. Maybe I'm just. I was just naive and ignorant to the whole thing, but like I did not sweat that LA game at all, and but then, you know, you win that game, you get that monkey off your back, and it's like, all right, now we can actually get to the NFC Championship game, and the fact that they were kind of, you know, what was it, like 3 and out, like, or they opened the game and like definitely the first drive was 3 and out, and it was like, oh man, and it just, like you said, it was close. You know, we would deliver a blow and Tampa would come right back, and it was just like, and it was just this like it was awful. Like I don't know how I tweeted it. Like I don't know how people who have perennial winning teams like deal with this.
Yeah.
Like, because this is all just so new, and like, how do you deal? Like, I don't understand how those people deal with the expectations, because that was a rough game. And then once they went up the 2 touchdowns, I was like, okay. And they
I was kind of, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say they did let Tampa come down right after and score to make it a 1-score game, and then Todd Bowles goes for 2 and doesn't make it, and that whole thing. And
funny how that worked out, huh?
Yeah.
Funny how that worked out, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's no script. Vegas isn't involved.
Well, that's what everyone's like. Does Todd Bowles have?
I mean, look. I mean, you could make the argument that there was a pass interference on that play.
No.
You could make the argument. They've certainly thrown the flag for less contact.
I think if Mike Evans made a more of an effort to get back to the ball, they would have called it. But because he just kept going, like, it's not like he was pushing him.
Sure,
he was just up in his grill.
I'm just saying it's curious that the refs choose to swallow the whistle in that place, in that point, when there's clearly a determination on how the sports books are going to have to pay out there. It's just, it's coincidence, pure coincidence.
Sure. I had my first.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
And it's the damnedest thing that old Todd didn't play for the field goal chance or to get the ball back once the game was over, but not really over, because the Lions kicked that field goal what happens to the line then?
Right.
Funny. Just funny.
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
I had my first moment of having to watch what I say around my 3-year-old during the game. It was the Melifonwu holding call.
Oh yeah.
Which,
yeah.
So real time when I saw it, I thought it was a PI flag. I'm like, that was not pass interference. So I go, that's horseshit.
Yeah.
And then immediately Kingston goes, that's, and then he didn't actually end up saying what I said, which I was like, whew, that's a close one. So my wife and I had a good chuckle about that. And then they showed the replay and they called the hold, and I'm like, oh, okay. That I see.
It was very clearly a hold.
Yes. Hold, yes. But like I said, I thought they were calling PI on him. I'm like, well, that wasn't pass interference. But anyways, and then yeah, I feel so I felt really happy for Derek Barnes that he was the one that made that play to end the game. Well, basically to end the game. Considering he was he for whatever reason in the Dallas game pulls up right before he gets Dak for a safety, and they do that bomb to CD for 92 yards or whatever it was, and that was along with the horrible call on the 2-point. That was the difference in the game. So I was glad that he had that moment of redemption to get that pick to seal the game there.
First career interception too is kind of a heck of a way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice too because aside from the Dallas play, he was kind of assumed to be the guy that was going to be riding the pine toward the end of the year because Anzalone is clearly the play caller on defense. They drafted Campbell, top 20 pick. You don't draft that kid expecting him not to, play at crunch time. And Barnes has kept him off the field. And Campbell's played well the back half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But this time of year, you got to go with your guys that you trust, and clearly they trust Barnes, and that's why. I mean, he showed why. He even said after the game, he knew from coaching that he needed to get his hips turned, and looking back at the QB, and he made the play. That's the sort of thing when coaches recognize that he's going to be on the field more. So
yep, absolutely. So I love quite the shriek when he picked that ball off. I don't even remember what it was, what I said, but I was just like, it was very loud and very high pitched.
Jumping up and down. I was just jumping. That and the Gibbs run, I was shaking the house. I was jumping up and down. It was that Gibbs run. I mean, I admit, I was like, I don't know why you take a running back that high. It better work out. If you missed on this pick, you're going to pay for it for the next 4 or 5 years. Well, they didn't miss. And that run is exactly what they've been hoping for that guy to bring to this team. He saw that the design hole was going to close, and he knew I just got to cut back. And once he made that first jump cut, it was him and Winfield. That was all that was between him and the end zone, and you're not stopping that dude one-on-one. I know it's easy to be like, oh, he looks like Barry out there. He's not Barry Sanders, but he looks like it. He looks like a guy that once he gets in open space, you don't stand a chance.
Yeah. Yep.
And I know they're talking about it on national media, so it probably won't happen now. But I got a feeling Sunday he's got the chance to catch the Niners. I don't know by surprise, but just kind of you haven't seen anything like me, and you don't have an answer for me because you couldn't stop Aaron Jones.
Right. Yeah. Yep. So, and now we head out to Santa Clara, Levi Stadium, 6:30 on Sunday, and the Detroit Lions are 60 minutes away from going to Super Bowl.
They are. They're 7-point underdogs. Everyone's picking against us. Vegas has us at last I look, it was minus 320 on the money line for the Lions. They're not giving us a chance in hell. I feel like that's exactly where we need to be.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly the mindset that team needs to have.
Sure.
I want everyone in America to all these pundits on Saturday and Sunday when they're doing their little picks. I want every one of them to say, this Lions team's been a great story. I just don't think they've got it. I just don't think they've got it. I want that negativity and that naysayer because I feel like this is where they're gonna get fired up. And we've been waiting all year for them to play a full game, a full 60 minutes. What better time than now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like, especially if Debo can't go, I don't think that 49ers offense is dynamic enough to have Brock Purdy carry them without Debo, because we're great at stopping the run. You're not going to shut down CMC, but you can contain him.
Yeah, you can slow him
down.
And
if it comes down to Brock Purdy's got to make plays through the air for the majority of this game, I like our chances.
Right. Yeah, if Debo doesn't play, I do like our chances a lot better. Although, and I mean, when he missed during the year, they weren't the same team. But part of why, aside from apparently Brock Purdy not being able to throw the ball in the rain, part of it is of why they look so took them so long to get going offensively is because they went into the game expecting Debo, and he gets hurt 9 plays into the game. And so all this install you have for Debo, there's no one else on the team that can run those plays. So they were kind of having to scramble there. But yeah, no, if Debo plays, I definitely like our chances a lot better. But that's not to say if he does play that I'm not going to say that I think we have a legitimate chance to win regardless. Am I expecting to win? No. But I think we have a hell of a shot, and we were kind of texting. The only way I come out of this game, disappointed is not the right word, because I'm going to be disappointed in a loss. The only way I'm going to come out of this pissed is if they just don't show up and they get beat by 10 or more.
See, it would have to be a repeat of the Ravens game for me. I feel like I've been pretty consistent all year that I think the Niners are the best team in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is incredible. I think their defense is what's going to win them this game. If they win, they're going to have to make Jared turn the ball over, and they can obviously do that.
Mm-hmm.
Going on the road, I'm not going to hold it against them if they lose by 2 or 3 touchdowns. If they're in it until the second half and then it falls apart or whatever. No, they come out and they go 3 and out, give up a tutty, 3 and out, touchdown, like that Baltimore game, and they're just flat. Then I'm gonna be mad. But I'm gonna be mad about that if it happens in week 4 of the regular season.
Right.
I don't I sound like an asshole saying it like this, but I don't have tolerance for that sort of thing.
Right.
There's a certain level of expectation now. We're not the same old Lions. You can't come out and play like that.
Right.
I don't think they will. I think more than anything, the pressure is on San Francisco.
Sure.
I don't think our guys have any reason to come out feeling anxious or worried, because San Francisco was supposed to go last year, but then all their quarterbacks got killed. And that's the only reason they didn't make it. And they've got the home field advantage, and they're playing the Lions, who never
mm-hmm.
Everything is in front of them to lose. And going back to Dan's speech from last year of pulling them out into that deep water, if you're hanging with them in the third quarter, every play that happens, they're going to feel a whole lot more pressure than you're going to.
Mm-hmm.
One mistake, one turnover, one holding penalty on a third down that would have been a first down is all it's going to take to get that feeling. Kind of like when the Wings back in the day, like, I can't believe they're down 2 goals to the damn LA Kings. Like, how did we get here? And then they just could never recover.
Mm-hmm.
Just stay with them till that third quarter.
Right.
And even at 85%, that's all it takes for me to beat your ass. Like, that's where they got to be. Just hold them close. Yeah. And I think that's it.
Yep.
If it's a close game in the second half, I think it's ours.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. It just hit me earlier today. Like, I'm not ready for this to be over. Like,
yeah.
Like, I'm just not. Like, it's been such a fun year. Obviously, it's been the most fun Lions year that I can remember since I've been alive. Like,
come on, ever. It ever.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like, I don't remember. I was alive during, like, the 91 season, but I don't remember any of it. So
I guarantee you it wasn't this exciting. And anyone that tells you differently is back in my day. Like, no one cares. Like, Sunday is the most important game in the history of the Lions. It's the biggest game in Detroit Lions football history. I don't care about winning NFL championships back when there wasn't color television.
Right. Sure.
Like, I'm not interested. It's the argument that you hear locally about I don't care about Michigan's national titles back when they wore leather helmets. Like, it's not a real thing. It doesn't count.
Right.
This is huge. It's easily, to me, it might be the most fun I've had as a sports fan outside of the 96 Yankees. Even those Red Wings teams. I love those Red Wings teams. But there was kind of a feeling of like, well, yeah, we're going to do it eventually.
Right.
And I was a little younger when they won in 97, but I mean, 2 years earlier, they were in the Cup. The year following, they were the best team in NHL history at that point. Like, you knew it was only a matter of time. This just kind of came out of nowhere.
Sure. Yeah. I've seen, I've heard some people kind of compare it to the 2006 Tigers, how they just kind of came out of nowhere that season.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That team got a couple big name free agents helped them get there. We didn't really do anything like that.
Sure, but still, like, they went from being utter garbage, like the previous few seasons, and then all of a sudden they were making a run to the World Series. Like, so.
Yeah, how'd that go for them?
Yeah, well, they beat our ass on the way. So.
Shut up.
I'm just saying, facts are facts. Unfortunately.
Hey, look. Well, not that it matters to you because you don't care if someone's a cheater, but Kenny Rogers was cheating in that game. You could see the little. The pine tar or whatever it was on the lip of his cap, but
we had A-Rod on that team.
Was A-Rod there in 06? Yeah, he was. Yeah, that was like Gary Sheffield, I think, was still around.
Yep.
Yeah. Oof. Thanks for bringing that up. That was Nick Johnson. Was Giambi? Yeah, Giambi was there.
Yeah.
Giambi had to be there. Cano was probably playing second by then. Or was Cano... He had to be young at that point because he came out in like 04, 05 after they got rid of Alfonso.
Yeah.
Jeter's at short. A-Rod's at third. Matsui's in left.
Yeah.
Sheffield's either DHing.
Yeah.
Bernie and Kenny Lofton, or probably Bernie is in center. Jorge behind the dish. Who's the DH? Nick Johnson? Or it might have been Giambi at DH, Johnson at first.
That probably makes more sense.
See, now we're in Yankees talk, and the 8 people that were listening before have definitely checked out. I'm sorry.
Checked out. Yeah, sorry.
You got me worked up about the Yankees.
I know, sorry. But yeah, no, I will not be surprised in the least if they pull this out and win this game. It just feels it's lame to say, but they just have this the team of destiny feel. Like it's hard to explain, but there's just this aura around the team. It's like, yeah, they're gonna get this thing done.
Why not us?
Yeah.
Look. If you want to be realistic about it, went into Arrowhead to open the season, went into Green Bay. Yeah, they got stomped out by the Ravens on the road. They got absolutely throttled. Then they went on the road and they beat the Chargers on the road. They went into Dallas and beat Dallas on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I
right.
went to Minnesota and clinched the division. Like, they've proven they can go on the road and beat anybody.
They won that Chargers game in a shootout on the road.
Right.
So,
and that was in the middle of them being down quite a few dudes on both sides of the ball too.
Right.
So I'm not the home. I know last week we talked about how I wanted the game at Ford Field. I wanted the game at Ford Field simply for the home field advantage. That crowd is amazing.
Oh,
and it would have been so cool to see the NFC title game here at night. Whatever. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not concerned at all. I saw something the other day that they're estimating the stadium is already 25 to 30% Lions fans.
Okay,
the Lions fans are.
Last I saw was 20%.
Okay, I saw it at like between 25 and 30. They're expecting after once people get out there and stuff like that, because people are going to wait for tickets to drop before the game. Even if it's 20%, that's a lot of Lions fans. It's a lot of Honolulu Blue to have in the stadium. That's going to bring down the noise. It's an outdoor stadium to begin with, so you're not going to get that reverberation. I feel good. The weather's supposed to be nice.
Definitely sounds like it's more than what the Packers had there last week.
Right.
And the Packers is like one of those like blue blood franchises as far as the fan base goes. They're like the Steelers and Cowboys.
Well, what the hell else are they going to do in Wisconsin in January?
Sure.
Looking for any excuse ever to get out of that hellhole.
Sure. So yeah, no, I guess Delta is like adding an extra flight. To make sure
all the airlines have been pushing extra flights to San Fran. Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Did you hear that?
I did. Yeah. Someone's getting mounted.
She was not happy. She was not happy about that. I'm sorry. Real quick before we move on, and I don't mean to cut off your that point. Frank Ragnow, holy hell! Like this dude.
Yeah.
He's an offensive lineman, but does anyone embody the city of Detroit like as a football player more than Frank Ragnow? Just like puts his nose down, does all the gritty, gross, physical. No one wants to do it, but he gets it done and he does it better than anybody. Dude's out there on one leg essentially and a bad back and carrying this, inspirationally carrying this football team.
Telling the trainers to get the F away from him on the sideline.
Right. Like Dan Campbell has a league obligation to go check on him and he's just like, leave me the F alone. Like, yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Clearly not fine. Like they show the replays like screaming on the ground.
Yeah.
To pick him up off the ground. It's like, let's go.
Right. Nah, dude, he's a warrior. He's the man. And
doesn't want any recognition. Like, didn't want to do that post-game interview. I don't know if you saw, but like Jared had to be like, take your helmet off. They want to see your face. And he's not all about it. Just like those guys don't get enough credit. No. Offensive linemen. They never do. And I just want to, and look, Panay, I don't know if you've seen it on the Jameer touchdown. He blocks two guys.
Mm-hmm.
He's got one guy on each arm and just like, nope. Like you and I were texting during the week about Goff getting paid. To me, Panay Sewell is the number one without a bullet. You pay him before you pay anybody else. He is the heart and soul of that entire team. You can't let that guy go. That's the guy you build your franchise around, because if Jared doesn't want to take less money, you can go find a quarterback, and if he's standing, in the pocket with Penei Sewell helping him out, he's going to be okay, I think.
Right. Yeah, no, I know. I just think that, it's conventional. You got to take care of the quarterback first. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. I would hope,
especially the way he's playing, and so
I would refer to the middle 4 games of the season when Ragnow was hurt, Decker missed time, Jonah was in and out, and how well Jared performed when he didn't have the best offensive line football in front of him. And that's when I'd go back to him and say, Jared, we love you. We want to pay you. You know it, and we know it. If you don't have a great offensive line in front of you, you're in a lot of trouble back there. You're not going to escape the pocket. You get flustered under pressure. We got to protect you, and the only way we can do that is to pay him a little bit more, and you might need to take a little bit less.
See,
because here's my other thing. Where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? Does he want to go play for the Commanders and Ben Johnson and rebuild another team, or does he want to stay here where they could have a core in place where he could run off 4 or 5 years in a row of top-tier quarterback play?
We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. I mean, maybe we don't know. Let's finish this mission out first, and then we can worry about all that stuff.
Right. All that being said, he puts a ring on that finger, pay the man whatever he wants. Give him the biggest contract in football.
Right. Exactly. That's kind of my point. Like, even if they win this game and don't win the Super, like, if he gets you to the Super Bowl, like, you can't let that dude go. You just can't. And they got an extra year with Penei because he's got the 5th-year option that they can. Sure,
and same with Amon-Ra. Like, I get it. I'm just saying,
doesn't have the 5th year because he's down to first.
Oh yeah, because he was a 5th rounder or whatever. Yeah.
So yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, his deal's up next year. Next year's his last year, which they'll probably. I would imagine that they'll want to work on an extension.
Oh yeah.
So. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Last Sunday I was worried, but I wasn't as on the edge of my seat as maybe you were. I don't think I'm going to relax after I wake up Sunday morning. Like I'm going to be hanging on every single play.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. No, once that ball kicks off, I'm going to be a nervous wreck the whole game. Up until, like I said, unless they just get, dog walked right from the get-go, then it's just going to be like, oh, okay. But other than that, like, yeah, it's going to be intense. For sure.
No, it's in a stadium.
Oh, my mistake. So
it's okay. Any thoughts on, since we're not doing a lot of wrestling stuff, any thoughts on Chiefs Ravens?
So, I mean, I would think Ravens, but especially because but now that we're here, like, you just can't count out, like, Mahomes is Brady. Like, you cannot count that dude out.
So I think we've talked about on here, obviously, my B team is the Ravens.
Right.
This sets up for a dream scenario for me, and also sets up for, like, the worst scenario ever on championship weekend. I think the Chiefs are going to pull it out. I really, like, it's almost like you don't bet against Bama, you don't bet against Brady and the Patriots. It feels like that's, like you were just saying, that's where we're at with the Chiefs.
As bad as the offenses looked this year too. I was thinking that no, this year's not that year, but then
They found a way.
Their
running game is getting going. They're getting a little more production out of Rice. Kelsey looks like he's in Hall of Fame mode. And that defense, that's the other thing. That defense is nasty.
Mm-hmm.
They're really good. They got Snead on the outside. I think he's going to be able to take away Flowers, who's been Lamar's favorite weapon since Andrews went out. I don't know if Andrews is going to play. He's been practicing. Maybe he's out there, but he's obviously not going to be at 100%. So, yeah, I got this feeling it's going to be the Chiefs. And if we get there, that's actually who I want to see. I want all the circus. I want all the chaos. Where's Taylor? What's Travis? Is Mama Kelsey in the building? Is Jason going to take his pants off this time? I want all the circus around all of them so that we can just go in there and handle our business and do what we did on opening week.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. I don't think you quite understood my text earlier this week. Yeah. Like, if the Chiefs win and we don't win, I'm going to be devastated because I think that's definitely a game that we can win. If the Ravens win and then, like, we don't make it, like, yes, I'm still going to be disappointed, but it's like, we're probably going to go get our ass kicked again. So,
see, that was 3.5 months ago at that point. I feel like it'd be a different game. I really do. I'm not saying we'd go in as like, I wouldn't, of all the games we've played, I would feel the worst about that one, but I wouldn't be afraid of the game either. I wouldn't be afraid of playing them. But playing the Chiefs, I think is if we got there and we played the Chiefs, man, I would allow myself to, like, we might actually, we got a shot.
If we end up playing the Chiefs, you're spending all your daughter's college fund money on getting out to Vegas.
I looked into it.
Sorry, kids.
No.
If you want an education, you have to go in debt like the rest of us.
College is expensive. I don't got that kind of money saved. Dude, rooms in Vegas. So I'm going the first week of March. I'm staying at New York. Uh-huh. One of the nights I'm there, the room is like $75 for the night. That same room on Super Bowl weekend is going for 10 times that. I can't imagine what it's going to cost to get into every building. You're not going to be able to get on a slot machine for less than $5-10 a spin. That place is going to be nuts. I'd have to win the lottery to go.
Go see AEW Collision the night before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, with 600 other people. Heard they had another monster crowd. Where the hell were they last night?
Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah, good draw there. Good work.
Cody's gone. They killed the town.
Cody's gone. They killed the company.
No.
You say that half jokingly, but also.
Shit. Yeah. Go Lions.
Go Lions. So,
I think we're wearing the all whites. That's my hunch.
We are wearing the all whites. 4-0 this year in the all whites.
3-1 with an asterisk.
4-0. They were wearing the grays in the
Dallas game.
I thought they wore the whites with the gray pants.
I'm almost positive they wore the all whites.
Oh, I'm looking this up right now. Nah, they were in the all whites.
Yeah.
They're 4-0. I don't care what anyone says.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. I just aesthetically, I don't like. I'd like them better if there was some sort of striping on the pants. Just the plain white pants just doesn't do it for me.
Meh, whatever. They need.
The blueberries need to be the standard home uniform next year. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but they got to do. I want it with the blue helmet. I want the all blue look. I don't think on Madden it looks sick. It looks sick on Madden.
I'm sure it does.
That's what I'm basing it on. Their uniforms in general, I think, need an overhaul. But
whatever they do, they got to keep some form of the blueberries.
Yes. No, don't get it. Those stay. Those are locked in, and then we'll go from there.
Right. I just mean, I'm assuming that they're going to, if they revamp the jerseys, it'll be like a different number style and everything like that. I'm just saying, whatever, there needs to be some sort of combination that's blue jerseys.
Blue on blue.
Blue on blue.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. So. All right. I think that's it.
Well, it's not official. There's still 2 openings, but it looks like either Aaron Glenn or Ben Johnson or both aren't going anywhere. There's only 2 openings left in the league, and it sounds like Quinn is the favorite up in Seattle. So we might be retaining both of our coordinators.
I'm pretty sure Johnson's going to Washington.
And the thing that I've seen about that is they don't have a quarterback, and they don't have a lot to work with on the offense.
They've got the second pick, right?
Yeah.
So they,
But what I was getting to was there's concern that he doesn't want to go there without enough pieces, because the way the NFL is going, you've got 2 or 3 years, and if it doesn't turn around right away, you're in trouble. And just because it happened in Detroit, don't forget, Ben Johnson wasn't part of the startup in Detroit. He wasn't the first coordinator we had.
Sure.
So they're saying he might be like, well, let me wait and see if another option opens up next year. What if Philadelphia opens next year? What if Dallas opens next year? He might, if he waits a year, he might actually get himself a better job. Right. So that's the part I've heard about why Johnson might not be going to, or I've read, not heard, make it sound like I'm in deep, but what I read was.
Yeah, we'll see. What are you more surprised? Only one team wanted Belichick, or that one team didn't actually hire Belichick, which is more surprising?
Probably that they didn't hire Belichick.
Yeah.
I think Brady kind of proved that it wasn't Bill. It was Brady, because everyone who left that franchise or stayed when Brady left got exposed for not being as great as everyone thought. All those coordinators, they were Belichick's guy. And then they go and they suck everywhere else. Tom leaves and wins the Super Bowl, and all the Patriots done since then is nosedive into the ground.
Yeah. No,
I was listening to something, and they were talking about how interesting it would be if you broke down how many people Tom Brady got paid because he was so good at what he did that other people convinced themselves it wasn't Brady, it was someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he got so many people, so much money and opportunity, and it was him. It's crazy.
Yeah. He's the GOAT for a reason.
Yeah.
At least for another couple years until Mahomes.
Holly asked me the other day, like, man, Mahomes really, after that Bills game, he really is, like, yeah, he's incredible. Is he going to surpass Brady? I'm like, he's got such a long way to go to surpass Brady that, like, it's not even a question to me. Is anyone better than Brady?
It's going to be the Jordan thing, whereas if you're just looking at the number of rings, I don't think anyone's going to be able to catch Brady in that. It'll be whatever else other people want to talk about as far as, he's already, like, on his heels as far as playoff wins or something like that, or I can't remember. There's one of the stats where it's like he's already close to Tom, but
But is he gonna set like the all-time touchdown records and
Right.
yards records? Like he's on the trajectory for it, absolutely. But he's got to get to those numbers and put some rings on it.
Sure.
Otherwise, he's not gonna have. Otherwise he's Peyton, and no one second guesses when you're like Peyton's not the GOAT. No
Right.
one's like, well, let me make an argument. No, it's
Right.
not even close.
Sure. Sure. Yep.
None of it matters because Jared Goff's going to go bonkers for the next 15 seasons. He's playing till he's 45. 6 straight Super Bowls coming to Detroit, just like on my Madden franchise.
I'm here for it. Let's do it. Let's do it. 60 minutes.
Forward down the effing field, man.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's get out of here. We'll be back next week. Hopefully talking about heading to the Super Bowl. I believe.
That's some Ted Lasso. Believe.
Sure, if you say so.
I'm telling you, you got to start watching that damn show, dude. Whatever.
Dude, I don't watch.
Get us out.
I don't watch shit. You know what I watch? I watch.
You watch those Kiss DVDs?
I don't even watch those anymore. I watch kids' YouTube. That's what I watch. That's all I watch.
Fair enough.
Hudson's Playground and Danny Go. That's my life.
Well, at least it's not FGTV.
Don't know what
Kingston ever gets. Yeah, if he ever gets into that, just run.
Okay. Sounds good. So, all right. We're out of here. Until next time. See ya.